What is going on? How y'all doing out there today? It is Uncle Steve here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. It is the Monday Minutia, where we usually take a kind of a deep breath after each Falcons game and kind of figure out what's going on. Well, last night's breath was the last of the 2024 season. And I know it was very suffocating for some folks as the Falcons dropped one to not the last place team. Carolina finished in third. I know that doesn't make a difference. But we lost to the 5-12 Carolina Panthers, 44-38 overtime. So much to unpack. I know everyone wants to do it in one day. I'm going to try my best to keep up with how we are feeling about not only the game yesterday, but the season. I'm probably going to do some kind of recap later on in the week, possibly this weekend. But very disappointing way, even if we did not really have a realistic chance of winning the division, as Tampa Bay went on to defeat the Saints late in that game. But just the feeling of and it's more of a feeling of this year, because you really were doing a pretty good job. I mean, you think about through October, you were 6-3. You were on top of the South. I don't need to remind anybody. Basically, kind of controlling your own deal. And you finished the season, the last 8 games, 2-6. And that's just not going to get it. And the 2 teams you beat are 2 teams that are fighting for the number 1 overall pick, which is now ended up going to Tennessee. And I just want to know. I mean, it's hard to say as a fan, keep your emotions out of it, because your emotions are going to be in it. My emotions are going to be in it. I don't like to see my team's season over. There are going to be teams next week after the division game that are going to feel the same way we are. Nobody after next week's division game, the losers are not going to say, well, we made the playoffs. They're going to say we didn't win the championship. So basically, you're going to have 31 teams that are ticked off. Atlanta, unfortunately, just happens to be one that it continues to happen over and over and over and over and over again. So I don't know. So today's topic, and I'm going to try to keep an open mind because I have my own opinion. Raheem Morris, first full season as Atlanta Falcons head coach without the interim tag. 8-9. Is that good enough for him to return as a head coach? I don't know how many ways I can say it yesterday. It's not a matter of being disappointed in what he at the end of the day, he is responsible for what's put out on the field. Yes, players have to execute. Yes, players have to do their job. But at the end of the day, the head coach is the responsible one for it. Raheem's responsible. Whether Kirk Cousins took a nosedive or not, that doesn't stop some of the defensive lapses that we've had. We're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team on defense for most of the games this year. The offense was sluggish at times. It didn't just all of a sudden start scoring 38 like they did yesterday. So there's a lot on the line when it starts coming out 2025 and whether you should keep the same leadership in place. My biggest argument with folks that are ready to move on it is quite honestly after 1 year. Why? And please don't tell me because well, he screwed up the whole season. Well, that timeout. Well, Kirk Cousins. He couldn't help Kirk Cousins falling into the abyss and all of a sudden doing his best Desmond Ridder imitation. It happens. I hate it. I don't like the way the season ended, but it was kind of interesting. I listened to every interview of every player this past over the past 24 hours. I didn't hear a dump Raheem theme. I heard a support Raheem theme after one season. Not even a full year as the head guy. I say, let's see what happens. You see what you got. You know what you have to do. You know the players you have. Let's give them a year and see what's going on. I heard a little bit of him today, not a whole lot. I heard some of it. He sounds like somebody who's disappointed. And I warned a lot of folks at the beginning of the year. I'm telling y'all, he's no pun intended, rah-rah coach. He's a salesman. He's going to get up there and tell you everything you want to hear. He's going to win the interview. He's going to win the room from February to September. He's going to win the room. What happens when it goes south? And it went south. So I want to hear opinions about it. I make no mistake that I think you deserve one more chance. I think if we went 2-15, 3-14, something like that, I would almost get it. We lost like 6 one-score games this year. It's not like every single game was a blowout. Felt like a blowout yesterday. I go to Minnesota and Denver. And I guess the Seattle game wasn't a complete blowout to the second half, but those 3 games there. Beside of those 3 games, Falcons are in every game this year. So it's not like we're getting dominated. Could it be mental? Absolutely. But the whole tear it up thing, I want to hear the plan after you tear it down. You can sit here and tell me about individual things during the year, and that's fine. It's fair. But when you get rid of him, what's next? Please don't tell me Ben Johnson is going to be the answer and turn it all around in 1 year. Because Ben Johnson's going to bring all of his new people in. Then we're going to start all over again. I think at some point, I think misery loves company. I think people just want to see us do it again. They want to see us go through a whole situation like that. And it just doesn't work. It's amazing to me. See what they're doing in New York? And not to say I want to be New York Giants. New York Giants went 3-14. Or was it 4-13? Whatever it was. They're bringing back Dable. I was shocked. I'm sitting here waiting to hear about Antonio Pierce. I'm surprised they didn't let him go. Yeah. Only person that I was kind of thinking 100% they were going to get rid of was Doug Peterson. That was about the only person that I was pretty sure that he was gone no matter what. Even Mike McCarthy. That wasn't as quick as a hook as people thought it was going to be. There's still hope for him. So, yeah, I don't know. Call me what you want to call me. But I just feel like let's give it one more shot and see what happens. You got nothing to lose. You were one game better than last year. Raheem can say what he wants to say, but you're going to say, you were better than that? Like, we were better, one game better. Tongue in cheek, y'all, before y'all start coming after me. Tongue in cheek. All right, make sure y'all like the video as you come in. I'm going to try to take as many of these as I can. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to give their very valid opinions on here. Appreciate you, Rusty. What's going on, Russ? He said, curious. All of a sudden, I'm trying to make words. Curious as to where all this confidence come from for next year, aside from the offense. Per Rappaport, Raw got more involved in the D after the bye week. Then we give up 44 in the must win against Carolina. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I don't. But I do know. I want to hear, and maybe I'll start it like this. For everybody that's going to come in here and say fire Raheem, and I'm down. You feel how you want to do. Tell me what your plan is. Don't just say, well, he just got to go. Tell me what your immediate plan is. I really want to know. And this is not even so much of a pro Raheem raising the flag for him, but I'm just like, I think some of y'all just want to fire just to fire. Then we'll start over next year. Ben Johnson comes in and struggle. What you gonna say then? Gerard Mayo, totally different story. Gerard Mayo was still under the Belichick window, and it's gonna surprise me if they bring Variable in. I think that's the same thing. But he retired and he got elevated to head coach. That means they were probably doing some of the same stuff. He could say they were different. They probably were doing some of the same stuff from the past. Dre in the house, Coach's Corner in here. What's going on, brother? He said, Uncle, I'm tired of hearing and being told to wait till next year or we'll do better next year. Well, I mean, so am I. But guess what? That's where we are. That's where we are. He said, we have seen nothing from Rob that shows he can coach. You don't win 8 games if you can't coach. Can he outcoach Shanahan, O'Connell, McVay, LaFleur, Campbell, or hell, even Dan Quinn? The answer is no. And since he can't, we won't go anywhere. So why keep him? That's a big opinion. I hear you. We'll see. I mean, sometimes you don't have to outcoach if you have a better, just better overall players. But I hear what you're saying about some of those. It's a couple of those that I would say, okay, I can argue about Shanahan and McVay maybe being better coaches. Let's see. Dixon Way in the house, Larry. Doing this thing on the Dixon Way. Y'all make sure y'all check out the Dixon Way on YouTube. Best live reaction video going on in the ATL on YouTube, and a lot of other platforms as well on there. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. Give him some love if you haven't already. Larry said, what's up, Steve? Coach Raw was non-committal to firing Jimmy late. Not once did he say that the defensive scheme was bad, which would have indicated Jimmy is on the hot seat. He said he would evaluate everything. Of course, that's what they're gonna say. Y'all acting like this. Y'all acting like he's got to put the X on him today. That's not necessarily true. He doesn't have to exactly show him the door today. And who knows, maybe he has. And we just don't know it. I heard him yesterday. He was very disappointed with the defense yesterday and today. He was very disappointed. Justin Switzer in the house. What's up, Justin? So what's up, Happy New Year. At least it looks like we have a franchise quarterback. That's the one good thing out of this thing. I love the fact that we got a chance to get Michael Penix into the mix. I hate the fact that it looks like the Kirk Cousins experiment is only going to get 75% of the first year. I don't know what's going to happen. I've heard the rumors, like everybody else has heard the rumors about teams. Teams can't even talk to other teams about players yet. So all of that is speculation until the Super Bowl is over with. Nobody can make any moves. Nobody can cut. Nobody can trade. You're going to see people talking about trade to Cleveland, trade. Nobody knows. The season doesn't even start until March. I think they could start cutting people, which I don't think they're going to cut him because that'll be a bigger hit on the cap. I could see them waiting around to see if somebody can work out a deal for him. Lisa Shepard is in here. What's up, Lisa? How you doing? Lisa of Blogging Dirty said, what a roller coaster of a ride this season. The Scream Machine and Six Flags couldn't have more twists, turns, ups, and downs. I am with you. And Six Flags, man. I used to work at Six Flags. That was the great place. James Dockery is in here. Live, rising up from Kentucky. What's going on, my friend? Hope everything's well for you. Happy New Year to you and everybody else on the stream that I haven't talked to since the new year. Hope everybody has got a great start to 2025. Again, as y'all coming in, appreciate y'all sitting in with your ump for a little bit just to, exhale, talk about this thing for a quick second, see everybody's opinions on here. Like Kelvin. What's going on, Kelvin? How you doing, sir? Say, what's up? It is what it is. Give Raw another year, but Jimmy Late's got to go. I think that's my prevailing thought. I know Larry and I were having a discussion about it yesterday. And obviously, yesterday was not a shining moment for Jimmy Lake in the defense. And I feel like he might, in a season like this, where so many expectations were here, you're going to have a sacrificial lamb. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be, not unfortunately, but I don't think it's going to be Raheem Morris. I think the biggest candidate is going to be Jimmy Lake, unfortunately. If he does come back, maybe they bring some help for him. I don't know. Something's going to probably have to change. You had, 6-3 and if you really think, if y'all really, really, really think about it, how many major injuries did the Falcons have this year? And knock on wood, seriously. How many major injuries? Not really a lot. And I hope it stays that way. Shout out to the strength and conditioning team. I mean, we had guys miss a few games here and there, but nothing that was catastrophic this year. I know a couple of the Darnell Mooney misses kind of hurt us a little bit, but it wouldn't shock me if we did something about that as well, but I don't know. Lisa said, too many home losses for sure. We needed to have the last two games, and we lost both in overtime. Jeez Louise, man, another losing season. And I think if you have an argument, one argument I can post up against those who are ready and willing to ship Raheem out of here is that you did. There was a chance. You had two games in pocket. All you had to do was win the two games and you're in. And as a coaching staff, not to come through, that's big time. That's a big mental and emotional hit on the teams. And from the fans, you're not going to get a lot of sympathy from us from that. Nando in the house. What's going on, brother? He said, what's good, Uncle Steve? Has Radio Raheem Morris lost his fan base with his Carolina Panthers loss on Sunday? And what is the state of the fan base? Chime in on the subject. I do feel like he definitely lost a great percentage. I've seen a pro side to let's keep him, but I've definitely seen an angry mob of marching on Flowery Branch and jettisoning him out of here real quick. This is my thought, and I don't want it to get twisted because I think it sounds like keeping Raheem means I am satisfied with what went down last week in a timeout situation, this season with choosing of Kirk Cousins over Michael Penix, especially when Kirk Cousins was struggling. you gotta realize you gotta know how to separate that stuff. I am extremely disappointed with the outcome of 2024 under the first season of Raheem Morris. Do I feel like there was something different this year with the team? Yeah, it did seem like it was a little more. It was a little more juice with the team this year. It was. Juice doesn't win games, but it did feel a little. I was, as Lisa was referring to, as the home games. There was a point in the season going to the Benz. It kind of felt a little electric. I go back to the Kansas City game, even the start of the Pittsburgh game, the Tampa game, the first Saints game. All those games had just a little, I don't know, just had a feel that things were going to be different this year. And we can't sit here and pretend like October and September and October didn't happen. They did. We were all drawn in. I didn't see anybody at 6-3 talking about, well, Raheem's still a bad coach. No, he faltered down the line. And a true assessment of him is to say, Raheem, you got to close that. You got to close those things. Another help for those who are trying to get Raheem out. People could actually say we saw it when he took over the interim coach the first time. Remember after Dan Quinn left, I think Raheem, they won 2 out of the next 3. And then I think they lost like 4 out of the last 5. So there's some ammunition for those who are ready to get Raheem's house on realtor.com. I got you. Rusty said Raheem needs to replace Lake before Lake gets replaced. That's a fair statement. That's fair. Again, y'all, I do feel like it's less than, no, not less. It's about a little bit more than 24 hours since the end of yesterday's game. I don't think they really may have to do some evaluation. I really don't think Jimmy Lake is going to make the cut. Somebody's going to have to walk the plank for 2024, and I think it's going to be him. I don't think it's going to be Zach Robinson. And not saying he was the wonder kid, but more than not, especially when Michael Penix came, you saw flashes of what this offense could be. And just another shout out to Michael Penix Jr. and what he was in the game yesterday. I challenge anybody to tell me they've seen a Atlanta quarterback. Again, we ain't talking about Lamar Jackson. We're not talking about Jaden Daniels and all that. I'm talking about somebody who at least has the agility. He would scare me at first in the very first quarter and stuff. He just stood there. And I was saying to myself, okay, brother, I just need you to move to the side just a little bit to let him know. And then in the second quarter and second half, then he started telling Carolina, okay, y'all really can't catch me. And then on top of that, I could throw on the run too. How about that? When he gets a off season to work with some of these receivers, go to their little camp, hang out, just play catch for a month, get to know their tendencies, get to know how these guys like the ball, maybe learn that every pass doesn't have to be 60, 70, 80 miles per hour. Once he gets that down pat, it's going to be trouble. He's going to be trouble. Lisa said, we're sports fans. We're going to be emotional. That's part of it. Been trying to get everybody to understand that the whole time. The emotions are going to run. The same emotions we were having after the Tampa Bay win in overtime, the Philly win at the end of the game, the Dallas win, those same emotions boasting our chest. We're the best. We're the top of the South. Run the South. It just hits different when it doesn't, when it doesn't happen, y'all. And that's fine. WCG is in here. What's going on, man? Say Raheem has lost the fan base, and I'm waiting to see, but probably done with Falcons until Raheem is fired. Sick and tired of Falcons always falconing. I hear you, brother. I mean, be it far from me to tell you how to feel. I can't make anybody feel how you feel. So more power to you. I can't. If I had a dime for every I'm done with the Falcons comment in the last 24 hours, I would be living up in Buckhead. Can't even say that anymore, right? Probably go up north, right? I'd be living up in Alpharetta. But I mean, that's the emotion of a fan. How many Twitters and Facebooks and Instagrams and I'm doing the Falcons. I'm not gonna do them again. I'm still going through it all over. And in September, I'm gonna see every last one of y'all back here again. And we're gonna be saying the same thing. And we're gonna be predicting the same records. They had the future opponents come out. Everybody's like, oh Lord, that's a horrible schedule. Remember that? Beginning of the year? Oh man, we're gonna go 11-6. I said 10-7. We're gonna go 11-6. We're gonna run this out. Man, you look at that schedule. Look who we play, man. The Chargers. Denver? You gotta be kidding me, man. Bo Nix, Minnesota, JJ McCarthy. Hey boy, look how we end. We end with Carolina. Boy, what a schedule. I play the game every year, but you just don't know, man. You just don't know. Anthony Booker's in here. What's up, Anthony? He said, bro, Steve, what's up? Yesterday was a tough loss after an awesome offensive performance. There were about 50K plus in the bins yesterday. I don't know. That might be a generous number, if you ask me. I'd say between 45 and 50. I don't know what they said the number was, but I was looking on the other side, and I wish I was on my Mac computer. I could pull up the. I sent my son a picture. Shout out to my son, just turned 20 years old yesterday. Happy birthday to you, boy. Love your son, my boy Tyler. Making me feel older and older every day. But yeah, I don't even know if it was 50. I don't know. Kelvin says we would have got the Commanders. And we can beat them. I think we could too, man. I really do. David Starks, what's going on, my friend? How you doing, sir? Oh man, there you go. He said Morris is not going anywhere right now. It's year one. I don't know how to tell people. I'm really shocked at the number of people that really think he was going to get fired at 8-9. I could almost see again 4 wins or something like that, but not at 8-9. Got a super chat in here, man. Coming in live from you. Falcons, you know I love you, no matter what you do. That's from the archives of We Lost Another Year. That's my buddy John Harris in the house with the eye test. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that super chat from you, my friend. He said the first season of grace is over. Everybody is on the hot seat. There's no slack to cut, no quarter to give. The flying foot of fate is aimed on all of them. That's kind of where I am right now, folks. Right now, everybody's hot. Going into next year, can't have a slow start. Going into next year, I don't care who you got on the schedule. You better go out and perform and be productive early. As he said, no slack, no quarter. The flying foot of fate is aimed at all of them. I'm right with you, Jay. I'm right with you, brother. That's how you gotta do it. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Thank you. Ron Thomas is in the house. What's going on, Ron? How you feeling, brother? Good to see y'all. Make sure y'all check Ron out, man. I know Ron is on with the guys, the Beard Gang on there. And I know 41 ATL, Terry in the gang doing their thing on their channel. He's always on there. Make sure y'all support them as well. David Stark says Morris' mistake was, if reports are true, not replacing Cousins when he get that shoulder injury with Penix. The money at that point didn't matter. The quarterback is hurt. And I think most observers kind of figured he might have been hurt, but maybe just didn't say anything. I can understand how Raheem would say after maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But, man, it didn't take 3 weeks to realize that cat was holding us up, especially when you basically we could have been out of this by the Raiders game, to be honest with you. We should have been out of it by then. We should have lost that game. Kirk Cousins was awful. Probably why Kurt's not putting up a stink. WCG says Raheem wasn't the best coach for the job, and veteran coach making rookie mistakes is not excusable. Nobody's giving him an excuse. Not one time here have you ever heard anybody making an excuse for Raheem. There are no excuses. But that doesn't mean that you fired a guy in the first year. His first time his first time with the team. y'all can play that game all day. It makes zero sense. T Walker is here. What's up, T Walker? He said, "What's up? I hate I missed you in low live. It's the missteps for me that burns the coaching and missed opportunities during game kept us out of the playoffs." Those are absolutely 100% fair. And I think, again, that's what's separating it for me, y'all. I mean, you got to be able to separate it. If we make mistakes, say you make mistakes. You know? Don't try to pretend like you shouldn't have called that timeout. And contrary to belief, folks, amongst all the drama and things of last week and arguing with radio hosts and stuff, and it really wasn't, he didn't argue about him. He gave him a little love tap to say, I'm not the one. And everybody ran to Mike Bell from 92.9 The Game, ran to his rescue. Oh, look, he got mad at Mike Bell. Mike Bell did that on purpose. They playing radio, man. They playing radio. That's what they're supposed to do. And then act like they're all for the fans. Well, you know, I like Mike Bell too sometimes. Sometimes it's too silly, but I mean, not even too silly. I can't say that. I don't mind laughing and having fun. Sometimes it's sophomoric. I think that's my word I'm looking for. But Mike Bell doesn't bother me. I like him sometimes. But I think he was looking for it that moment. You kept pestering the guy. You know how important that loss was. If I knew you made a mistake and I kept asking you about it 4 or 5 times and you're trying to reword it 4 or 5 times to get me to say I'm the worst coach in the NFL for not calling timeout, I get ticked off at you too. Stop acting like, you know, those guys don't have emotions and feelings too. Y'all act like Raheem was cool with that. Folks thought he was cool with the effort yesterday against Carolina. You think he is proud that he let Penix wait 2 to 3 more games than he probably should have? I mean, if y'all are sitting back thinking that he's at home smiling saying, I fooled y'all, I don't know what to say. I think he really does care that he screwed that pooch on this. He'll be the first one to tell you. He basically said it. But he's not saying it in the way that people want him to say it. Oh, y'all want Raheem to come on and basically beg forgiveness from the fans. Man said he's sorry. They made a mistake. He should have thought otherwise. I mean, what do y'all want him to do? That's what I defend. I don't defend the bad decisions and everything like that. Of course he made the decision. But if you come back and say, hey, probably should have another way. What am I going to do? Now, if we're here at the end of 2025 and we do the same things, then we'll have a different conversation. But not after 1 year. Lisa said we went 6-6 in one-score games. Wow. That's crazy. Because good teams win those games, Lisa. Anthony says, I don't want to see Raheem fired. He needs another year to right the ship. That's all I'm saying. I think he does too. And I see a lot of y'all in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button for your whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, especially on Uncle Steve's Lounge. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We're not going to be done just because the Falcon season is done. We'll go into the off season. We'll have a lot of talk about the playoffs. We'll actually break down some more things. My man T. Walker brought up my buddy Big Low and us. We had shout out to Big Low Country Sports. We had a great time on the stream the other day. I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line pretty soon that we'll have like an off-season review to talk about next steps and everything like that. It's so hard to talk about it now because the season is technically not over with. But when your season's over with, I guess you can think about it. But brother Lee Jackson in the house. What is going on, Lee? One of the federal government's finest. I said 30 free agents, and we will be in salary cap hell when we let Cousins go before the $10 million roster bonus kicks in March. The general manager who has been buying the groceries needs to go. We have had more misses than hits on draft picks during his time at the helm. I'll give Raheem another season, but would like a more experienced OC and DC. I'm going to take yours part by part. The salary cap hell, now don't get me wrong, we are going to be we'll probably have some restraints. If they can find a team that will be able to play ball with us and maybe absorb some of that $27 million base salary, maybe. Nobody's going to take all of it, but maybe they can meet us halfway and be able to take that. And y'all keep forgetting, sometimes you don't have to eat every bit of the cap in 1 year. You don't have to. Now, if they cut them immediately, yeah, then you gotta take it right there. So that's hopefully what we can do. We get a trade and we can be able to get somebody to help us out. Then I think the hit will only be $30 million, which y'all don't realize. Again, the NFL, which is the most watched product on TV, Netflix got 2 big-time ratings. Do y'all realize that Falcon-Washington game is one of the top 10 watched games in the NFL this year? that overtime game. Salary cap's going to go up another $20 million like it did last year. We won't be able to do big money signing, but we'll be able to fit some things in here. And quite honestly, we might be looking at more depth than anything else. I think we got some good pieces. And the same general manager that made some questionable picks is the same one that also picked Bijan, the same one that picked Drake London. You all realize Drake London is one of only 4 receivers this year to have 100 catches, 1,200 yards, and 8 touchdowns. One of only 4. Drake had a breakout year. So I'm not a get rid of Terry either. I think Terry, the Kirk Cousins thing is going to hurt. But let's see what happens. David says, and your plan doesn't need to be Belichick. Yeah, 6 championships with Brady and the other 11 as a head coach, 3 winning seasons and only 2 playoff appearances where he was one and done. It's always interesting to me, David. Everybody that screens Belichick, and Belichick didn't hook on with any team. Atlanta wasn't the only team that was interested in him. So interesting that Atlanta gets the biggest. Atlanta fans think Belichick was the savior. but nobody else in the NFL did, because I hadn't seen him get a sniff with anybody else. That's why he ran to college. WCG says, since you want a plan to go get a top college coach, and before you say Falcons tried that, no, they haven't. They did it with Petrino, who had an extreme character flaws and should have never had the job. No, and you know what? I had a whole, and I'm going to disagree with you about that. I told my son the other day, 2006, I was ticked off. I'm sorry, 2007. I was ticked off that things ended up like they did. But I'm going to tell y'all, I don't blame Bobby Petrino one bit. Mark it down. Say I said it. Bobby Petrino was brought in there to coach one of the most electric NFL players, calm them down, teach them that West Coast offense, get them relaxed, and make him one of the, I mean, he's already one of them more exciting quarterbacks, but make him a legitimate top-tier quarterback in the league. He didn't get his toy. It wasn't because of injury. He got somebody who ended up going to jail. So if you're Bobby Petrino, you go to the job and you're starting the season with Joey Harrington, and you're not winning a thing. And at the end of the season, somebody say, hey, coach, you want to get out of that misery? Come on to Arkansas. And y'all can say what y'all want to. I'm as big of a Falcon fan and as anybody out here. But I'm also human. The man didn't get what he came there for. He came there for to coach one of the best athletes in the game. And he wasn't there. And when he's not, I don't know if I would have left like he left. But I don't blame Petrino. But I hear what you're saying about the college coach. I disagree. It's very few college coaches I think I would get coming right out of the game. I mean, Jimmy Johnson is an anomaly. Jim Harbaugh was an anomaly. When you start talking about coaches who jump right out, it's a dime a dozen, man. It's really, I don't know. I disagree, but I hear you. At least you had a plan. I appreciate that. Anthony says, I'm not willing to tear it down and start over. Once Kirk Cousins play collapse, it hurt us for 4 straight games. I'm in that boat too. Jonathan Freeman in the house. What's going on, Jonathan? How you doing? He said, why do I think he's a career coordinator? I've heard that comment too. He could be. He could be. I'd still want to give him another year. I still do. Justin says, fire Raheem, hire Brian Flores, keep all offensive coaches. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all what. I love the Brian Flores narrative. Brian Flores did it for 1 year. He did it for 1 year. I'm just saying. I don't know what. I don't know. I like Brian Flores as a coordinator. I think he might fall in that to what Jonathan was saying about career coordinator. Brian Flores is no different to me than Raheem Morris. WCG says need to get an offensive or defensive mastermind, not a bump on the law that does nothing like Raheem. I hear you. Debo Vibes in the house. What's going on, brother? Y'all make sure y'all check out Debo Vibes on YouTube. Handling his business. I'm pretty sure he's already come out with some interesting thoughts on what went down this season. Y'all make sure y'all hit him, like him, subscribe, catch him out. Say, Steve, Happy New Year. We made all these moves with a new coaching staff and personnel. Only had one more win than last year. Unbelievable. Not only unbelievable, but yeah, just crazy. Raheem made himself look incompetent on several occasions, and the condescending interview on Deuce and Bell showed the fan base everything we want to know about the overall disconnect. I tend when you say condescending, the condescending is, I think sometimes we act like coaches, general managers, and even players don't have feelings sometimes. Not talking about emotional cry at every drop of the dime. What I'm talking about is, dude, do y'all think Raheem doesn't realize he screwed the pooch? Do you not think he doesn't realize he made one of the biggest goofs of the year that was on national TV for everybody to see? And if you got local radio guy peppering you with questions like, it was his goal. They say it every time I listen to Dukes and Bell. I'm fans of the show. More than the individuals themselves. I like the show. But do y'all seriously think that they didn't go in there with an agenda themselves to say, oh, let's try to rattle them a little bit? Mike made the point in the first two questions. And when by the time he asked the third questions, and he told him, say, yeah, Mike, you're not listening to me. And I can play the game. Mike Bell can play the game. Media guy A, media woman B, ESPN reporter Adam Schefter, Stephen A. Smith. We can all play the game, but if y'all don't think for 1 minute that the man didn't feel like he lost the season possibly for the Falcons in that moment, y'all crazy. But he can't sit there. I mean, to me, he did a good job 2 days before in the interview that he did when they got back from Washington, and he did the virtual interview. I don't know if y'all watched that. On the virtual interview, he said in hindsight, I wish I could have. I apologize to the fans because I know they were looking forward to, they were disappointed with that loss. He apologized. I don't know what else you want. Mike Bell wanted a personal apology. Screw Mike Bell. I mean, I don't know what everybody wanted with that interview. And more power to people that thinks, oh, he told him. Raheem got way bigger fish to fry. Todrick Davis in the house. What's up, man? How you doing, Todrick? I ain't heard you in a minute. Hey, how you doing, brother? I think our owner needs to grow a backbone, grow a set, and quit hiring choir boys and hire people that's going to have that goon mentality. I don't care about the fans. I don't care about the fans, care about wins. Well, I mean, I don't think, this is my opinion, I don't think he really, I'm not, you say goon mentality. What is that? I mean, what is that? I mean, if you're saying play tough guy, that doesn't really work either. Not in today's NFL, not with the egos you have. These young men coming out of college today, they making more money than the coaches before they get to the NFL. They could care less about all that. I don't even know what you mean by goon mentality. If you mean like tough guy, no. William Amy is in here. What's going on, William? William had like 5 in a row. He said, fire this GM and head coach, Radio Raheem. He said, we don't have a good defense either. We can't tackle for nothing. Inconsistent Falcons. Can't believe we lost to this sorry Carolina Panthers fan. Well, I guess he's a little angry. You know what you need? Happy. We need to get you uplifted, my friend. I mean, the season is over. I'm living. Hold on. Let me see. Yep. I'm still breathing. Everything's fine. Falcons messed up. Hopefully, we'll try to get it right. Millie Mills in the house. What's going on, Millie? That was up, I could care less about this season. We got a dang quarterback now, and he's not old, so I'm cool. Next year, the NFC South is ours. So, man, can y'all believe that? We got some optimism. Optimism in the house. And it's pretty accurate what he says. If you're not excited as an Atlanta Falcon fan, have your pity party and jump into the pool and do whatever harm you think you need to do to yourself because the Falcons lost again this season. But if that's what you feel like. But he's right. This is the first quarterback legitimately that we've had. This is the most excited I've felt about having a quarterback probably since, maybe Matt's first year. It's the most excited I've been. Michael Penix, some good stuff coming. Dondre, what's going on, brother? He says, why is his fan base asking for Morris to get cut? I have no idea, brother. Rusty said, the thing that scares me is Michael Penix making up for bad coaching. What if Robinson gets plucked to be a head coach? Now, Michael Penix needs to learn a new system. If Kyle stayed in 17, we beat Philly and go back. Zach Robinson isn't going anywhere if he's not going nowhere. This is his first year as an OC. First opportunity given by Raheem. He's not running anywhere. And I don't even think anybody's going to take him this quick. But you're absolutely right. If he were to go, yeah, learning a new system, people think it's just automatic. That takes a lot of time. Rusty says, an offensive-minded head coach who calls the plays is ideal for an offense like us. Okay. That way, there is never no turnover on the offensive staff. All right, I hear you. Melvin, what's going on, Melvin? How you doing, brother? I said, Uncle Steve, what's good? Go Cowboys. Melvin, I don't know, brother. They talking about keeping McCarthy there. We'll see. We'll see. William Amy says, I got a bad taste in my mouth. You lost to Kitty Cats. Got Bryce Young looking like Lamar Jackson. That's embarrassing. While that was an embarrassing showing for the defense, all kidding aside, Bryce Young, last 4 or 5 weeks, Bryce Young's looked pretty good. Matter of fact, last week at Tampa was the only week that I thought he didn't look well. But since he's gotten the job back, I don't know if you watched a little bit of the Carolina. They almost beat Tampa about 5-6 weeks ago. But I don't know. Anthony Moss says, raw decision-making and game management cost us this season. I asked Tidy on another post, does Raheem get better? And he said, yes. I don't know how you get better after you've been a head coach and interim coach already. You would think he'd learned a lot after spending time with McVay. Well, I mean, Anthony, in fairness, again, he lost his opportunity. What was that, the mid-2010s? He came here, did some stuff with us, went to the Rams, assistant head coach, defense coordinator, won the Super Bowl. I mean, sometimes it takes more than a year. And you know what? Every coach doesn't jump out the box. If Jim Harbaugh, please save me, spare me. Jim Harbaugh had the best quarterback. That's really who I wanted. But I knew he wasn't coming because he's a West Coast guy. That's the guy that I really wanted for Atlanta, not even Belichick. Because Harbaugh, for some reason, I don't know why, he always has his teams in it. Even if they don't win it, they're in it. That was the guy I really wanted. But I'm still, shout out to Tidy, Atlanta Bird Gang. Y'all make sure y'all support Tidy on the YouTube channel and those of you on Facebook. Trying to get into Atlanta Bird Gang, trust me. We see you. We just got a lot of approvals to do on there before we just let every swinging John and Jill in the group. But I kind of shared Tidy's thought on that. Maybe if we're in the same boat next year than we are this year, then it's fair. Y'all can't after 1 year. I don't know. Billy Mills says yesterday proves to us that we don't need Pitts here so soft. My bad. Excuse me, Hunk. Well, I don't think you're gonna get an argument out of me, and I'm gonna I'm mentioning a lot of that in a couple of shows that I have pretty soon when we start talking about who's next. Definitely Kyle Pitts is a candidate to me to be traded. Lee Jackson was talking about as far as salary cap. That's an $11 million hit next year. And if we have somebody that can take him and maybe we can get one of those lost picks that we got from the Kirk Cousins debacle last year, maybe we'll be in good shape. Ron Smith is in the house. What's going on, Ron? How you doing, sir? Thank you. Dondre says, does Blank have Alzheimer's? I don't know. I don't know what that has to do with anything. William Amon says, Raheem is not it. I don't care what y'all say. Unacceptable. Raheem is dumb as a coach, and that's chew gum and watch the scoreboard. Lack of urgency. We are not winning this division as long as he remains our coach. So it's fair. It's a fair assessment to say William Amy doesn't like Raheem Morris. You know? I mean, I don't know what else you want. I think you've made that clear that you're not a fan. So that's fine. Antonio James in the house. What's going on, Antonio? How you feeling, brother? Because that was my question for the Falcon fans who want to hire Raheem Morris. What did Arthur Smith and Dan Quinn show you in their first season that Raheem has? That's a very good question. That's a super good question. That I very much. I mean, we didn't fire Arthur Smith after 7 and 10. We didn't fire Dan Quinn after 8 and 8. Why would we fire Raheem Morris? I think a lot of people just don't like the man. And I mean, that's fine. You don't have to like whoever the coach is. Or maybe there were people that wanted Belichick so bad they were waiting for this moment for Raheem to fail. So they can say that. Again, there are no flags behind me waving saying, save Raheem! Save Raheem! I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I don't care who it would have been this year. I would have gave him another year. You have nothing to lose right now by saying, okay, well, let's give it another shot. Brianne in the house, what's going on, sis? How you doing? And she said, and the majority of the fans that complain don't attend home games to support the team. Hey, hello. You can have several seats, and you had a lot of fans traveling to more away games as well. And she was one because I ran into her at a game this past year. So I know she knows what she's talking about. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, but there is something educational about hearing other fans think of things, because my point of view is always not gonna be correct. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I've missed out on a lot of things that I thought were gonna happen, and they haven't. I just think in this particular case, I just think you pulling the rug way too quick. Again, if he goes 2-15, that's one thing. He made some mistakes. Dan Quinn made horrible time management mistakes his first year. Shoot, he actually made horrible time management mistakes in the Super Bowl year. Need I remind folks, for those of you that might not remember. Coach Gordon said, I definitely was screaming he was a bad coach at 6'3". Jerry, you are definitely somebody that I remember not being a fan, in all fairness, to you. So I cannot take that away from you. You're absolutely correct. I do remember that. Keenan Melvin in the house. What's going on, Keenan? He said, hey, shout out to Penix. The future is bright. The future is very bright. And I like how and for those that were waiting for, you just saw Penix say it to himself, I got to keep scoring because my defense is letting me down right now. I like the fact that he was aggressive. I like the fact that he just didn't take off every time. I like the fact that if you look at him, he keeps his head downfield. He keeps looking downfield. And that's just awesome trait to me. And yeah, another interception yesterday by who I'm thinking is going to be a former Falcon and Ray McLeod. I think Ray was nice, little gadget player. Ray put the ball on the carpet a lot of times this year, and then that last night, that was a horrible interception. That was a game-changing interception play. Think about it. We were up 7. Carolina wasn't stopping us. It was, Al Hunter in the house. What's going on, brother Al? Talking about folks who be traveling with the team. I was telling my wife, Al, that I said we gotta move on this schedule next year. There's a couple of good ones out there when you look at that Frisco game, going out west, and I think Arizona too. Didn't I say we go to Arizona as well? I think so. Say DC has got to go. No disagreement there. Not at all. That's my neighborhood buddy, Jarius Middlebrooks in the house. What's going on, Jarius? How you doing, my friend? He said the hands were tied with Cousins. Didn't help to draft a quarterback with a top 10 pick. Didn't make much sense now. It didn't make much sense at now the Falcons are eating crow. He can't miss in draft for 2025, and he'll be gone. Penix looks solid. Yeah, and I still think I'm somebody who went on record thinking I still like the move of drafting Penix. I understand why people didn't want to draft Penix, but I after you made the move for Kurt, but to your point, in hindsight now, it is, pretty cool. Got another super chat in the house from my buddy T Walker in here, man. What is going on, T? As we all just sit back and just upset about this season. Falcons, y'all got me very lonely. I don't know what it's going to take for y'all to get us back in this groove. Hanging in our head, we want to forget. Terry and Arthur, you got to come through, because we've come to the end of the road, and we can't let go. You had to time out. There is no excuse. Fans are turning on you. Come to the end of the road. Boy, it's being on a roll. Still we can't let go. You had to time out. T. Walker. There is no excuse. Fans are turning on you. He says hire an NFL vet, defensive coordinator with a head coach experience, Wilkes or Saleh. For example, Saleh. Edge and corner with the first 2 picks. Young can't have a career game in this one. Yeah, I that spoke more to me about the team attitude, man. I really hated that. That was really bad. Really bad. Rusty Moore with a super chat too, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, this didn't go through last night. Remember? Saint beat the Bucks. Saint beat the Bucks. Saint beat the Bucks. Boy, they Saint beat the Bucks. Saint beat the Bucks. Saint beat the Bucks. We should have known they weren't gonna come through like they would have, even though they did fight a little bit. But man, I have to change that one up. He said, "Thank you, Rusty." He said, "I only complain because I care. The way we went out this year was a hot dagger right through the heart. It was right there in front of us. Pain. Rusty, don't apologize for caring. I don't begrudge anybody for coming on here and venting about Raheem Morris, defense, Terry Fontenot, shoot, Arthur Blank on here. I don't expect anything less. If you're not passionate about what we're talking about, you probably on the wrong podcast. You go to one of the podcasts where you got 10 people on the screen and all of them are agreeing. Go to that one. Not to the one I listen to. I might have a different opinion, but I'm gonna listen to you. And if I disagree, I say I disagree respectfully. Shaka Zulu, man, I appreciate that, man. Shaka Zulu in the house with the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Trying to get you back here.
I don't care what they say, cause the Falcons going crazy. The Uncle Steve will take it, cause the super chat is crazy. Kirk Cousins going down south.
Shaka Zulu, I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I don't care what.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Appreciate the super chat, man. Unc say most of the fans are just exhausted with losing and being embarrassed. So Rod's gonna have a shorter lease. Rod's playing for Quinn and Smith's shortcomings. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. You know what I mean? I don't. You know, Shaka, for those of us who have absorbed this hit every January, we've only had 2 Februarys I think we've actually gone to. But, you know, the finality of the season is going to hit everybody. It's going to hit 31 teams this year. Eventually. It's going to hit Tampa. Tampa ain't winning. Sorry. It's going to hit some of these other pretenders. But you gotta, again, you can either do one or two things. You can do the same song and dance like they always do, Shaka. I'm through with the Falcons. I'm not coming back. I'm not getting season tickets. I'm done with this team. I'm the people that used to go on social media and burn their TV. The people used to go on social media and tear up TVs because they're quote unquote upset with their team. They do all of that, and guess what? Then I see them in September. They'll be the first one commenting. Always. Shaka, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me get back here. David said, and Penix Jr. dealt with 4 drops. Lord have mercy. Yeah, Drake let him down a couple of times. You heard Drake. You saw Drake when he had that last real catch. He came up in the my bad because he knew he let him down on a couple of those plays. Absolutely. William Amy's back. He says, y'all are confident in this coach. Then we got one. Y'all are confident in this coach. We got one more win than before last year. Nobody is. I don't even know how much else to explain it to you. I honestly don't. I don't know. That one Falcon fan is in here. What's going on, man? Say, what's up? Classes have just restarted for me. But regardless, the Falcons, I don't know why folks are so mad. We won more than 7 games for the first time since 2017. Huge improvement, but we expected better. It's fair for people to say it's only 8 wins. That one Falcon fan, I definitely would have wanted a winning season at least to have a little bit more, which would have been one more win. But yeah, if you want to look on the bright side, you can say that. There haven't been 8 wins since 2017. You're right. Now next year, let's go for the playoffs in over 500 record. Consumer Favors in the house. What's going on? Consumer Favors. He says they have to get some dogs on the defense. I don't see any killer dogs on this team. Kyle Pitts is soft. I'm not running away from your opinion, and you word it however you want to word it. I'm very particular about calling people soft. Kyle Pitts at times seem to be lost. I will admit that there are times that I'm disappointed in his effort. It looks like on the field, it looks like the dogs on defense. I think that's every team. Every team wants a couple of them, but I don't think we did. Look, Jesse Bates is that guy. AJ had a bad game, but AJ's that guy. Caden Ellis. Caden Ellis is way more than I ever thought he was going to be for this team. Way more. Now, everybody else just about, and I know people are going to get mad at me, including our man of the year, Grady Jarrett. Love him, love him, love him. But just like in the case of Matt, just like in the case of Julio, maybe you think about that. If he doesn't want to restructure to lower that salary just a little bit, and God bless him, go out there, you make the money that you make. I'm not sure I bring Grady back. It's not personal. I really like Grady. Grady's a great ambassador for the team. Very, very good player for a great amount of his time. But is he somebody that you would say we got to have Grady here? No. Brianna says, based on his interview, old Jimmy's getting the boot. That interview was mostly directed towards him. He stated he was going to be brutally honest with his staff and what 2025 would look like. That's what I got. That's what I got, Brianna. I know a lot of other. I know at the very beginning of the stream, a lot of folks were talking about, well, he might keep. I got the same feeling you did. Somebody's going to be the sacrificial lamb. Jimmy Lake. William Avery says Radio Raheem doing a lot of talking but no results on the field. But William, in fairness, at the beginning of the year, I warned people. I told folks he will win the press conference from the time he got hired until September. So now that you have all this and you didn't come through, you're absolutely right, William. You got to face it. Al Hunter says we're headed to the new Vic era. I think so. And matter of fact, Al, if you remember how that started, and love me some Mike Vick, but Mike Vick was slightly a one-trick pony. I'm not trying to say he couldn't throw the ball 80 yards. I'm not saying he couldn't zoom it in there with the best of them. But he was an unfinished product with us. The Mike Vick, real Mike Vick, was with Philadelphia when Andy Reid got a hold of him and taught him some real offense. We never got that, Al, and you know that. As much as we love him. We got the excitement. We got the pizzazz. We got the swag. But we didn't get that quite finished product that could have beat Philly in one of those 2 years, especially 2012. Not 2012, I'm sorry. 2004, when I think we really should have been playing New England that year in the playoffs if we didn't go up there. J-Dot, he said, what's up, man? What's going on? He said, Steve, now if we miss the playoffs again next season, will he get fired? Now, I'm always hoping the Falcons wake up, but if we real, this team has too many holes to fill and it's not looking good. Well, that's why you give him one more year, J-Dot. Yeah, if we miss the playoffs next year, it is a fair assessment to say, as a former head coach and somebody that I'm expecting to be a little bit more than, what other people will, what other new coaches should be. Absolutely. That's fair for next year. Demetrius in the house. What's going on, Demetrius? How you doing, brother? He said, "Are you watching the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw tonight?" I am going to check a little bit of it out. I am. That ought to be interesting to see how the the censors should be on that one too. They probably stepped that up a whole lot on streaming. Very interesting where the WWE is going. And boy, have they switched and gone in another direction since the Vince McMahon era ended. Al says all the stars lined up for Penix, Young Stars, Black City. We're ready. And folks, I know people don't want to hear that, but it's Atlanta. It's Penix. That's going to happen. It's no different than Green Bay. That's going to happen. We can hide from that if you want to. I'm not hiding. Atlanta Public Schools, trust me, I know. That's what this city is. It is. He said, we got Washington for the 5th straight time, right? Internally, there's, here we go again. Not a fan of it, but hey, it's the first Penix and Daniels matchup was amazing, so I won't be shocked if it's in prime time. Oh, you could mark that down for prime time. Definitely. We'll probably get about 3 or 4 prime time games next year, even the way the season ended, because of Michael Penix, because of Bijan Wright. Y'all realize Bijan was the 3rd highest running back this year? 3rd most yards. Crazy. DJ says Michael Penix should have been started sooner, but at this point, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Absolutely. Brianne says the players speak highly of Raheem in today's interview as they were cleaning out the locker rooms. Wasn't the same type of energy the 3 years with Arthur Smith in postseason interviews. It's a different type of energy in the locker room as we fans don't see. I was explaining that earlier too. I did not hear one person act like I didn't see Grady's same old blank last year. I didn't see that this year. I didn't. Donjay says he's a black coach. They ain't give him a chance. NFL hard on a black coach. Antonio, what's going on, brother? How you feeling, man? He said, I'm really interested in what Terry has to say on Thursday. I think a lot of people are gonna pepper him with Cousins questions. But I know he can't answer a lot of that probably to the end of the season. He said, did you see Derrick Henry's speech to the team in their locker room? That locker room presence right there. Yeah, you know what? Derrick Henry is a vet, man. I expect that. Rounds 1 says, you're either a good coach or not. I don't care about race. I don't fault him for sticking with Cousins. It's the in-game decisions that tick me off. I'm right there with you, brother. I don't care what if you win, that's all I care about. That's my buddy Lamont in the house. What's going on? How you doing, brother? He said, that's right, Steve. Bring some logic to the situation. I'm trying. I can't make everybody feel like you want to feel, but I'm going to put it out there, which if you got something to say, bring it on. Speaking of something to say, if y'all coming in, please hit the like button for me. If y'all on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, especially on YouTube, help the channel get out there, man. I was trying to reach up there and grab that 2,000, but didn't quite make it this year. We're going to try it for 2025, see what we're going to do. Pump it up a little bit. Hopefully we'll be good. That one Falcons fan says, hope to see the new jerseys. These uniforms brought us bad luck. Man, I'm going to tell you what. We won when we had the old school. When we had the old school helmet on. I do know that. Love the old school. Kenzel in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Said, Steve, I'm speechless. Like most Falcon fans at the stadium, I was crying too. I also believe Raheem Morris need another year. Almost every coach in the league says Morris is a great coach. Just give them the time and we'll see. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think he needs another year. Give him another year before we just put him out the pasture. I am not excusing the bad decisions, the bad play calls, the awful timeout situations. None of that is being excused. I'm just saying the man went 8-9. He didn't go 2-6. And contrary to everyone's belief, we were still in the playoff race as much as recent as halftime at yesterday's game. We were up 7. Saints were up, I think 7 too. I think it was 13-6. Or was it 16-6? It might have been 16-6 at halftime. So I don't know. You gotta. I don't know. I just say give him another chance. Billy Mills said, "Hey, did you happen to see Joe Milton? Oh man, Joe Milton looked nice, right? New England might have a controversy brewing up there, but that's good though. That's good. You put them two young guys together. I saw him on the run, and I saw him throwing some darts. But Milton just had to get healthy, right? Didn't he get hurt his last year at Tennessee? Didn't he? Or am I thinking about somebody else? I think Milton got hurt that last year. Eldridge, what's going on, Bang? How you doing, sir? Say, Uncle Steve, we have to change the culture. It's been 7 years, and to that Washington game, that one game is the reason why Raheem is looked at like he's not capable, in my honest or humble opinion. I'll say this. You picked the wrong stage to make such a critical timing error. That was just the wrong stage. Prime time, your rookie quarterback. And to me, I listened to his rationale. I get his rationale. I'm not disagreeing with the thought. Now, if I had Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, veteran quarterbacks who are used to those situations in live time, then Raheem, I would have thought about maybe running up to the line and trying to do something. But with a rookie quarterback who's just kind of getting things under his hat, you got to help him out a little bit. And with more than one timeout left in your pocket, you just can't do that. I know that's beating a dead horse, but that to me made him, you're right, Eldridge, that made him look more incompetent than he probably is. And the criticism is fair. WCG says NFL salary cap is a myth. I've been hearing the Saints are in cap hell since before Breeze retired, and somehow they're always finding money to compete with the Falcons. Absolutely true. They found money every year to make at least one splash signing, and we'll do it too. We'll be all right, y'all. Antonio J says, low-key Belichick got Gerard Mayo fired with that terrible roster. Oh, absolutely. I agree. Billy Bill says, say it again. Joey Harrington. Joey was horrible. Horrible, horrible. WCG says, the only reason I say a college coach is because I want an offensive or defensive mastermind. Let's say Raheem does win next year and a team does come get the OC or DC. Okay, and I got you. I got your logic. That makes sense. We would be in the same situation we were in when we let Kyle Shanahan leave. The true reason for Falcons winning. I agree with that as well. I'll say this though, WCG. Everybody keeps, we dogged the mess out of Steve Sarkisian in 2017, but he was a perfect example of let him cook a little bit too. Because 2018, Atlanta Falcons had one of the best offenses in the NFL. If y'all remember, Julio balled, Ridley balled, Matt Ryan had his best year since the Super Bowl year. If y'all remember, that was the year that the whole defense went down. Remember, who was the one that led the league in, what's the safety that we had? Led the league in interceptions because everybody kept picking on us. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Dondre says, does Blank have AI? And what people need to realize is NFL is hard on black coaches. Dang it, people, he's sitting with the butthole tight after Mayo firing. Dang, give him a chance if you want to. Yeah, here's the problem with Mayo. I agree a couple of seconds ago. Who was that? That was Antonio that was saying about Belichick got Gerard fired. If you're Mayo, I don't want a hand-me-down job. I really don't, because in a hand-me-down job, you're basically, as he said, you're cleaning up what Belichick left. So in you know what? In essence, you're an interim coach. No matter what the same. Basically, Gerard Mayo was an interim coach for New England. And there was a New England, they played it, because they had the black coach, you satisfied the Rooney Rule, whatever. But from Gerard Mayo's standpoint, I would have wanted to get out of New England and start your own stuff. But I agree with that wholeheartedly. The Belichick situation really screwed him up. Billy Bill says, obviously, Joy Taylor was playing the game too. Is that crazy? The whole Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless, Acho situation. But I have feelings on that internally that it probably wouldn't be smart for me to verbalize. But the alleged stuff that the young lady, the hairdresser, is saying that Joy told her, there is absolutely 98% thought that is authentic. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, go look. It's a hairdresser from FS1 that's got a lawsuit against some of the Fox folks over there, and she's alleging some things about Skip Bayless and some favors or some ask that it's a lot. It's very tantalizing stuff, but I don't want to get into it too much because I just stay on the side of that one. My 82 Monte Carlo's in the house. What's going on, brother? Hi, that's Carlo. That's Carlo Wiggins. What's going on, brother? You switch your name up, man. Got me looking at here. How you feeling, brother? He said at the end of the day, we know we coming back because yesterday gave us a glimmer of hope. Brother, it's not even a glimmer. It gave us a whole. Man, did y'all see Penix go get it in that first? Right. He stayed in the pocket all that time, that game. And then he said, you know what? I got to go get it. And not only did he go get it, I think him scoring that touchdown, that fired him up. Aside of the Ray McLeod goof up with the catch, man. Yeah, that was a great look at the next. What's coming up? Dwayne Green in the house. What's going on, brother Dwayne? How you doing, brother? He said, what's up, we need to realize Raheem is not going to lose his job, but we might need to look at the defense coordinator. We also might need to look at some of the pieces on the defense that doesn't have the ability to make plays that are needed. It might be time to change the defensive scheme and players that don't fit. I actually expected the season going this way once he took too long to pull the trigger with the quarterback position. And it's hard because, again, I think Raheem was trying to be loyal, but he probably was too loyal. I could have told you after 2 games that there was something wrong with Kirk. I almost wish they would have just said, made Kirk go in for an MRI or something. I know the rumors are that his shoulder might have been hurting, but I'm saying, but as Raheem, you're saying, hey, Kirk, bruh, season's on the line. I need you. I need you. Also says the draft must be it needs to be defensive heavy. I think you're not gonna get any disagreement with that. Brian says Zach Robinson might be a head coach position on Oklahoma. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna give Brett. Did Brett Venables get fired? I don't know. They might give him one more year. TG says, how could you judge him off interim coach? You talking about Raheem? I mean, that particular year, I mean, if you're talking about Raheem, I'm trying to see if you're talking about Raheem or Gerard Mayo. Tell me who you're talking about, TG. so I can know what you're saying. Brian says Panthers almost beat them. Kansas. Yeah, Kansas City lost 27-30, and again they almost beat Tampa Bay. So it's not like they, it's not like they didn't play well down the stretch. I don't think they were 44 points well, but they did play well down the stretch. And Miles Sanders, boy, coming in fresh, beating up everybody. Carlos said it was bad enough to force them to have to go defense in the draft. So I'm ready to see the headhunters they go out and get. They better go get some. We short on draft picks, but we can't sign undrafted free agents. But I do think we're gonna end up making some moves. And I think because we lost, and I keep forgetting, somebody was talking about it yesterday. One of the free agents. Who do we lose this past year? I think Jonnu Smith is gonna be a compensatory, and is somebody else that we lost last year that is going to qualify us for a compensatory pick. It might be 5th, 5th, or 6th round, but same thing. TG said it's only been 1 year. He needs one more at least. Disrespectful. He's at 28-3. Okay. Keaton says, keep Charlie Warner, ship off Kyle Pitts as a Philly native. Hate to say it, but yeah. Look, man, I think you get rid of him. I think you get rid of Pitts and get one of those picks back. Pitts will probably give you at least a 4th round pick. WCG says, everybody's saying Falcons aren't winning until Raheem is gone. 100% correct. This awful defense you're blaming on Lake is Raheem's defense, exact same defense he used in Tampa. Okay. Larry says Raheem is a genius. Give him grace and watch Raheem give Jimmy Lake grace. His presser today sounds like he was blaming the players and not his staff. He will evaluate everyone, including himself. I hear you, Larry. You ain't gonna get the satisfaction from me, brother. ATL Skate Man in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Hope everything is going well. TG said, like he said on the radio, why should he have to pay for what happened years ago? The people that feel like that gonna get over it. They should. Billy says, hey, why Ray out there yesterday rocking the Jimmy Bones hairdo? JJ, Ray got a lot of hair. Yeah. Oh, man. Round one says, get over it or maybe stop going to the games. Yeah, that's one. Lisa said it's sad leaving the Benz being 6-3, ended up 8-9. All we could do is shake our heads, even though disappointed. I'm planning my trips for next year. Arizona and San Francisco are my plans. I am looking to see what is going to happen for that. We hopefully can make one of those. Kelvin said that 9 to 5 connection may be something special. Yeah, I heard that on the radio. I heard West Durham coin that yesterday. So that ought to be interesting to see. Carl Thomas says, am I late, coach? Oh, man. I'm going to tell you something. Penix is special. Oh, yeah, man. And time for Grady to go. I'm right there with you. Definitely. Francis Hunt, Washington in the house. How you doing? Hey, Uncle Steve. I was so disappointed that we lost the game yesterday, but the DC had no answers for the Panthers offense. I'll always be a Falcon. I know you will. I can't wait to hear what you think about what we're going to do going into next year. Miller Mill says, call it how it is. That boy is soft, 6'6", 250. Hey, man. I hear you. Carl Thomas says Raheem is trash. Jimmy Lake ain't nothing but a fall guy. He probably is gonna be. He's probably gonna be. Purple Haze. What's going on, Purple Haze? Minnesota fan. Y'all kind of, I was surprised at how Minnesota showed up in that game yesterday. That was crazy. How much cap y'all got left next year? Told you Kurt was a mistake sided because you can't afford free agent squad. Again, going into last year, here's the problem, Hayes. Kirk Cousins arguably, I don't even think it was arguably. Kirk Cousins was the highest valued quarterback free agent going into last year. And we ended up falling for it. If we didn't, y'all would have. Trust me. Y'all just wanted them at a lower pay. Now it turned out great for y'all. So trust, hey, y'all good. Carl Thomas says, I love Vic. Penix a different breed, though. Oh, Penix is going to be nice, man. Sterling Woods in the house. He said, who would you pick for the next DC? Sterling, let me see what folks are going to be looking like once people are fired. It's hard for me to kind of dive in. Somebody did mention Salah short from the Jets. And would he be interested in doing that, or does he want to jump? I doubt if he's going to try to jump back in the head coaching fray, but maybe see if he is somebody who wants to get a chance here. Jada is in the house. What's going on, Jada? He said, Steve, do you think Terry will receive a contract this year? He hasn't been extended. Yeah, I think he will. I really do. I'm trying to jump to a couple of folks I hadn't heard from, like my buddy Henry in the house. What's going on? He said, Uncle Steve and family, be safe out there. You too, my friend. My brother Steven from the check down in the house. What's going on, sir? He said, run it back with pressures and warnings. It was year one. Absolutely. Chris Phillips is in here. Ricardo Allen. Ricardo was actually one of them that got hurt. I'm about to find out who you're talking about. Hold on. He led the league in interceptions the year Ricardo was one of the first people who got hurt that year, but I'm about to tell you who it is because that's bothering me. 2018. Y'all, come on now. One of y'all know his name. The little dude that got 7 interceptions that year. Atlanta Falcons, 2018. That's gonna make me. Can y'all hear me? Sorry about that, y'all. 2018 Atlanta Falcons. KZ. Thank you. B-Tuck. KZ. That's who I was talking about. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I get those thoughts and I get those, yeah. KZ. That's who it was. Yeah, Ricardo was one of them ones that got hurt that year in the 2018 season. So Chris Phillips also says, I know folks keep talking about how bad Simmons was this year, but he was here for 1 year. Let's not forget about DeMarco Hellams. I know a lot of people are not high on Justin Simmons. I'll say this: if Justin Simmons liked his, if he is willing to take a lower pay, I wouldn't mind having him back here again for a little lower than we paid him this year. I wouldn't. I know a lot of people can say get rid of him, but I wouldn't mind having him back. Priyan says all that Buddy Falcons put in the Emory Healthcare building and all that high technology, basically a hospital over there. It was no sense that Kirk didn't get an MRI. Right. He literally was walking distance to go get checked out. It did take technology and stubbornness to see that it was apparent shoulder injury. Throwing picks and passes at 23 miles per hour was evident. Koo's hip injury from last season and putting him in an IR was a topic of discussion. And Brianne, you remember where I was sitting? I'm trying to think which game was that where we were in. Was that Philly or Carolina where we were at? And the whole time, Koo was he was working out, and I thought it was his back, but he might have been trying to loosen up his hip that whole time. I truly do believe he's been hurt. I do think he was hurt all year. I really do. So, that's what's My brother Bernard's in the house. What's up, Bernard? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in there. APS, Douglas High in the house. Here it says Penix is surprisingly calmer than expected. Sky's the limit for MP9. I believe you too. Ron Smith says bring in Steve Wilkes. I wouldn't mind Steve Wilkes either. That wouldn't be a bad call. Let's see what happens with him. Folks, I have been on here longer than I thought I would, but the one thing I'll always do is be here to talk with you all about what went down. Please, 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 if you like the conversation, if you like what you heard, please hit the like button on the video. Please, if you're on Facebook, on YouTube, I will be back within the next week. We'll go over some of the off-season possibilities, the free agent list, who y'all like, who you don't like. I appreciate all the love tonight. Everybody talking to us about what this season was. It's super disappointing, y'all. Super disappointing, and I understand. But at the end of the day, there is a bright spot, and his name is Michael Penix Jr., and if you have a quarterback in this league, folks, you will go far. And I think the Falcons will. One more year, y'all. One more year. Maybe this is it. Call me foolish. Call me whatever you want to do. It's all good. Thank you, Purple Haze. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. Good luck to the Vikings, man. Y'all should be formidable. Y'all kind of shocked me the way y'all looked against Detroit, but it's all good. My brother John Higgins in here wants to say bad to you as well. Hello, bad to you. Say hey, what's up to you as well, my brother. Brianne, I see you right there. She said, hold on, I'm going to share the podcast. Well, okay, absolutely. I appreciate it. I'll keep it going. What I'll do is I'll keep the theme going for about a minute or so you can have that. My brother Michael says, we going nowhere with Raheem. He'll be gone in 2 years or less. Strapped up. I hope it's all is well with you too, Strap. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate all of y'all. Again, if you like the channel, tell your friends, as Brianna's doing. Share the video out. I appreciate everyone. I will also do that as well. Let me tell y'all something. I really do enjoy the Lady Birds AFN. That is a very good show. Miss Maggie, I see Aunt Pam on there. Brianna, I think I saw you poke your head in there as well. Y'all make sure that y'all check them out on their channel. I love the uniqueness of that different type of opinion that you get. And the crazy thing is, I kind of like when the ladies talk about it more, because y'all don't get as emotional as we do, which is the crazy thing. So they're going to be on tomorrow at 8:00. Y'all make sure you tell Miss Maggie that I'm giving you a shout out over here, Brianne, because I do watch, and it is some very good information for very good content for the Atlanta Falcons fan base. Appreciate you, Dirty Bird. Thank you so much. Rounds one, thank you so much. I appreciate the sub. It's all love. Y'all make sure, again, y'all check out the Lady Birds AFN on there. She got the link in there. Y'all check that out as well. For Uncle Steve's Lounge, I will be back next week. We'll be talking more about the future of the Atlanta Falcons. Until then, everyone have a great night. Be blessed, and we'll talk to you.